Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking all about the Colourpop Superstar Loose Pigments. I picked up 3 of these shades from the whole range and I will be doing a demo on each of the shades that I got. So you'll still be getting 3 demos in this video. But yeah, I know I'm a little bit late on this, but as you guys know, I live in New Zealand and anytime Colourpop launches anything, I am always the last person to do a review because shipping takes ages. But hopefully you guys will find this video helpful anyway, and if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts on the new formula, then just continue watching. Okay, so first let's get started with some product info. This is what the baby looks like. This is the Superstar Loose Pigment. It is in the same formula as the Super Shock shadows, but this one, the lid is not see-through, so that way you can't see what color you have inside. That is a con in my opinion because I do want to see what I'm reaching for instead of opening it, and because it is a loose pigment, when you do open it, a lot of glitter is gonna like come out of it, so you know, it's a little bit messy, but I mean, it is a loose pigment. I'm not sure how many shades they launched, but there was quite a few. I only picked up 3 just because I'm not the biggest fan of loose glitter and I don't use them often. This was like kind of like my first time playing with loose pigments, period. Moving on to my thoughts about this new formula. So like I said, I've never really used loose pigments like often. I've used it like once in the past, like I used one from MAC, but I never really got to play around with it that much because as you guys know, I went cruelty free. So this is kind of like my first time playing around with loose pigments, and my first initial thoughts. First, you have to use these wet. Colourpop does claim that it can be used dry or wet, and I can see that, but I feel like if you're gonna use it dry, I would rather just save the mess and just use a normal eyeshadow from Colourpop themselves. I feel like their pressed eyeshadows are so amazing either way that I wouldn't want to like open this little pot and then it gets dirty everywhere. Like, these loose pigments are no joke. Every time I filmed a demo this week on these loose pigments, my whole vanity table was like messy, okay? It could just be me, I'm just very clumsy, but I just feel like it's very messy, and if you're gonna use it dry, I feel like you should just use a regular eyeshadow anyway. So I think you can only use these loose pigments wet, and that's when you're gonna get the most pigment on your eyes and it's gonna actually look good. So my demos were kind of like first impressions in a way. I did talk through them this time, but you will see that when you place the pigment on your eyes and if you want to go blend something, you are gonna blend off all of the loose glitters off your eyes. All the glitter is gone, so you gotta keep reapplying. It's kind of like when you place this product on your eye, you gotta make sure all your blending is done, because if you continue to blend after you place the loose pigment on, you're gonna dust off all of the glitters and then you're gonna have to like redo everything. I do think they are really beautiful when they are wet. Another tip that I could give you guys is to use like a glitter glue, or kind of like put concealer down first and then apply this on. That way the loose pigment has something to grab onto and it's actually going to stay in place. When I did my cut crease look, which is demo 2, it went on a lot smoother, more metallic. So that's like a tip that I would give to you guys. I do like it. I don't think it's bad. I think the shade selection that Colourpop comes out with is always amazing. I feel like there's a shade for everyone, and I'm really obsessed with the shades that I did pick up. I think Upshot, the one I'm wearing right now, it's so pretty, so unique. I don't have anything like this in my collection. Like, I'm obsessed with it. It's something that I wouldn't pick up every day just because it's so inconvenient, you know what I mean? Like, it's in a pot and it's like messy and I have to wear my brush, I have to place a base down. But with regular eyeshadows, I don't need to do that. All I gotta do is wet my brush, go directly onto my eye. Colourpop's eyeshadows, like their pressed powders, their metallic shades and their shimmer shades are so metallic and high shine that it kind of gives off a similar shininess, metallicness to these. Like, I feel like there's not much of a difference. I'm not gonna completely rule it off, you know? I'm not gonna say don't get it, guys, but I mean, it's $5 if you never used loose pigments before. I mean, Colourpop is probably your best way to go. It's definitely something that you gotta get used to, so if you're a beginner and you don't like it on the first go, I would say just keep practicing. It's something a little bit more trickier to get used to. I struggled on my first demo with it. So overall, it's not my favorite Colourpop product, but it doesn't it doesn't suck, you know, and I would recommend it to you guys if you guys never tried loose pigments before. Colourpop's metallic shadows do it for me already. I feel like I don't need to get a loose pigment to get that high metallic shine. But I mean, if you guys never tried a loose shadow before, I would say just give it a go. It's $5. Pick a shade that you like, see how it works for you. You might end up loving it. Also, you could get like lighter shades and it could be like a body highlight. I think that would be really nice. Okay, so that was it for my review portion. Hopefully you found that helpful and informative. If you guys want to see 3 demos on the 3 pigments that I picked up, then just continue watching. So for the first demo, we are going with Badlands, which is the purple loose pigment. On Colourpop's website, this is described as a violet with pink and blue glitters. Since we are playing with Colourpop products, I am gonna stick with Colourpop eyeshadows, and for this look, I will be using the Give It To Me Straight palette. So first, I'm gonna take this shade here, which is called Truth Hurts, and this is going to be our transition shade. I am taking my Colourpop fluffy blending brush, and I'm gonna put this straight into my crease using windshield and wiping motions. And then I'll be taking this shade over here, which is called BS, on my Morphe M433. I'm gonna first place this on my lid and slowly blend it up into the crease, not going past the transition shade. We want to kind of start creating that gradient to get a very smoky look. And the next shade I'm going to use is TMI, which is just down here on my XO Beauty Fluffy Blending Brush. I'm going to focus this mainly on my actual lid, and what is ever left on my brush, I'll slowly bring it up, but not too high. And then going back in with my previous brushes and just building up any of the shade that was lost. And now for the star of the show, I just put some of the Badlands loose pigment in the cap, and I'm gonna first use this dry just to see how it will look on the eyes, but that's really pigmented. It looks quite powdery. And guys, when you use loose pigment, make sure you do your eyes first instead of your foundation. I feel like in some places it's a bit darker than others. I think I'm gonna like it a lot more better when it's wet. So pretty much when I wanted to blend out the loose pigment, I pretty much just dusted all of it off my lid. So if you use it dry, when you dust it off, it doesn't stick to your skin, so it's all gonna fade away. Now let's go ahead and try it wet. So I'm just gonna take this brush from Smashbox and I'm just gonna spray it, and let's just place this on the center of my lid. Okay, you can just automatically tell that that is so much more vibrant. I feel like the more I blend, the more of the glitters just fade away. It's just kind of like the purple base is there, but all of that glitter just fades away. So I'm just gonna take another brush and use it wet and just kind of dab it where I want the glitters to really show. Okay, so I just went off camera, gave myself a wing liner, and I just finished off my base makeup. So I'm just gonna keep it really simple for the lower lash line. I'm just gonna take a TMI from the Give It To Me Straight palette down here, and I'm just gonna run this on my lower lash line from inner to outer corner. I am using my Sigma E55 brush. And then for my lower lash line, I'll be taking the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Crybaby, which is just like a lilac kohl liner. And I'm gonna put this on my bottom waterline. For bronzer, I will be using the Colourpop Press Bronzer in the shade In It To Win It on my Vanity Planet Kabuki brush. And for my blush, I'm going to be using this one from Colourpop as well. This one was from the Nectar collection. I'm not too sure if it's still available, but I will write it down below if it is. And then for highlighter, I'll be using the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in Flexitarian. Can you guys believe that I've never used this before? This is my first time. I picked it up when I got the Superstar Loose Pigments. I mean, everybody talks about this highlighter being one of Colourpop's like best highlighters. Ooh, wow, that is so reflective. I feel like I gotta get like the first layer off. Ugh. Wait, what? Am I using it wrong? That looks really streaky. Oh no, it's not too light actually. When I look straight, you can still see it. Wow! This is what you call a blinding highlight. I wish it was a little bit more champagne and gold, not so white. I'm just so amazed that when I look straight, you can still see the highlight. At first, it's like really glittery and it's streaky, but you just gotta keep blending it out and it looks so good. I think Lunch Money was another popular one, so I might get that one if it's a bit more gold. And that, guys, is my completed look for the Superstar Loose Pigment in the shade Badlands. For lashes, I am wearing Boudouir Lite from House of Lashes, and for my lip color, I am wearing the Colourpop Luxe lipstick in the shade Still Crazy. Okay, so for look number 2, we are going to be using the loose pigment in Go Lightly. On the Colourpop website, this is described as a metallic yellow gold. I am first going into my double entendre palette, taking this shade over here. This one is called Extracurricular. I'm going to take that on my Colourpop blending brush, and this is going to be our transition shade. I'm going to first put this straight into my crease using windshield wiping motions, and to further blend that out, I'm going to use circular motions. And then just using the shade right next to it, this one is called Hard. I'm gonna start putting this on the outer corner of my eye using my XO Beauty Fluffy Blender brush. Just using circular motions in that outer V just to start creating a bit more depth. And then I'll be taking the shade called Teddy Bear just down in the corner here with my Colourpop E9 brush. I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner of my eye once again, but working in more of a smaller section. And then when I feel like most of the product is there, just taking what is ever left and bring it into that inner crease. So now I'm just taking some concealer on the back of my hand and I'm going to start cutting out my crease. For today, I am only doing a half cut crease, and today I have even eyelids, if you guys couldn't tell. So hopefully it will turn out nicely today. So what I like to do is just place the concealer where I want it. So I'm only doing a half cut crease, so I only need to place it in the inner corner of my lid. And then once I have mapped it, I'm just going to look up. And that is going to mark the highest point of my fold, and I'm just going to bring my concealer up to that point. And if you do that, you will get no transfer. Just going to take a very fine detail brush and just really go up against that line. Once we got the cut crease going on, I'm just going to take Go Lightly, the loose pigment, on a wet brush. This is the Vanity Planet concealer brush, and I'm just going to start placing that right on top of the concealer. I'm actually going to go into my Yes Please palette. And I'm going to take this shade in the corner, which is called Mischief, and I'm just going to mesh these two colors together. And then I'm just going to be taking some black eyeshadow on an angled brush. This one is the Makeup Collective number 5 brush, and on the outer corner I'm just gonna start creating a wing liner. I'm not gonna take it to the inner corner because we'll be placing a gel liner there. So as you guys can tell, I just went off camera, did my base, and I also just lined the top of my eyes, ready for my lashes. But I'm gonna go back into the double entendre palette and taking this shade again called Hard on my Sigma E55 brush. I'm gonna run this shade from inner to outer corner on my lower lash line. And then just taking the black eyeshadow on my Makeup Collective number 5 brush, I'm just going to connect the lower lash line to the wing on top. Taking the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in Swerve, I'm just going to line my bottom waterline with this as well. To highlight, I'm going to take the In-Nude-Endo palette from Colourpop and taking this shade here called On the Loose. I'm going to use this to highlight my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, my chin, my brow bone, and also the inner corners of my eyes as well. I forgot to mention that my blush and bronzer is the same as yesterday. That's why I'm only showing you my highlighter today. And this, guys, is the completed look for the GOLIGHTLY Loose Pigment Shadow. For lashes, I am wearing the Serene Lite from House of Lashes, and for my lip color, it is the Luxe Lipstick in the shade Uno Mas. Okay, so for the last and final loose glitter, we are using Upshot. On the Colourpop website, this is described as a jade green with silver glitters. I am first going to go into my Colourpop Dream Street palette, and I'm going to be taking this shade over here in the corner, which is called Spark. Using my Colourpop crease brush, I realize I've been calling it the blending brush all this time, but it's actually called the tapered brush. And this is going to be our transition shade. So this color is actually very, very vibrant, and it's a little too dark to use as a transition shade. So just keep it quite low in your crease and then slowly blend it out with a clean brush later. And then I'm just going to take the shade over here, which is called Stardust, on my Wet n Wild crease brush, and I'm just going to use this to lightly blend out the edges of the first shade that we placed down. Now I'm going into my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, taking this shade down here, the Jade Green. I'm going to be using the XO Beauty Fluffy Blender brush. So I had to go into a different palette just because in all of the Colourpop palettes, they don't have a shade like this. And in a lot of the Colourpop palettes, there aren't many blues or greens. So therefore I am just branching out a little bit. I did try my best to use majority of Colourpop products in this video, but I had to go into my Jaclyn Hill palette and use this shade. I'm gonna put this all over my lid. And then I'm just going to be taking this shade over here on my Sigma pencil brush, and I'm just going to lightly place this on the outer corner of my eye and then on the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer on my brush, like the tiniest bit, and just place that in the center of my eye. That way the loose glitter has something to grab onto, because I found out with the loose glitter it needs something to kind of like just grab onto. So I'm just going to place a little bit of concealer in the center of my lid, not too much. So using my brush wet, I'm just going to place that directly over the concealer. And then once that glitter is on, just gonna blend out the edges with the shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I just finished my base off camera and I gave myself a wing liner. We're going to finish off the lower lash line. I'm going to take this shade here, which is called Spark, which was the transition shade that we used. And I'm going to use my Sigma E55 and I'm going to just really smoke this on my lower lash line. And then just taking this shade over here, I'm going to use my Makeup Collective number 5 brush. And I'm really just going to press this against my lower lash line. And then just taking my Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in Swerve, I'm just going to line my waterline. To highlight, I'm going to be using Fine Line from the Colourpop In-Nude-Endo palette. My bronzer and blush is the same as the previous days, so I'm just going to show you my highlight only. So this is the completed look for the loose pigment in Upshot. For lashes, I am wearing Boudouir Lite from House of Lashes. And for my lip color, I am wearing the Luxe lipstick in the shade Appy. Okay guys, that is going to complete my video for today. I hope you guys did find my review helpful and also the 3 demos that I did for each of the loose pigments. If you guys have already tried this new formula out, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Is it your new favorite thing? You don't like it? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, I did pick up the spring collection and also the My Life is Eva collab with Colourpop as well. So I think those 2 videos will be going, one will be going up next week and the other one will be going the week after. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. I would seriously appreciate it so much. And yeah, that is everything for this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!